Hey, hi, and welcome to Iconic Ann Arbor, the video series. So this is our first location, and it is the appropriate one as far as I'm concerned. This is one that crosses over from towns to gowns or gowns to towns. Everybody can relate to Hill Auditorium. In fact, my high school graduation ceremony was held at Hill Auditorium. I have wonderful, fond memories of seeing Simon and Garfunkel, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Dave Brubeck, and many others at Hill Auditorium, and many of you share memories as well. In fact, in the book, what I do is I have not only the photograph and history of the location, but also I put these photographs while I was creating this book. I put it up on the Ann Arbor Townie site, and I received literally thousands of responses. What the book is, and hopefully what the video series will be for you, is a trigger for nostalgia, taking you back to a time that at least seemed to be a simpler and certainly a pleasant time in your life. And Hill Auditorium is one that resonates with just about everybody. In fact, also, it's great because Ken Fisher, who's a friend of mine, Ken was responsible for decades of wonderful memories for people at Hill Auditorium. In fact, Ken's book, I'll mention it and give a link in the narrative on this, Everybody's In, Nobody's Out. It's just a wonderful book, so I encourage you to buy that book. Okay, so Hill Auditorium, located at 825 North University. It was built in 1913. I include information about all of these locations, but also in addition to comments from people who have memories, I also put it in perspective. So we kind of knew what was going on. Well, we don't know, but at least we knew that this building was being erected in 1913. So that's Ann Arbor. What was happening in the rest of the world? I take major events, and I also, in the book, will indicate major events, and I'll mention a couple of those in the video series. So this is erected by, well, with the money from a former U of M regent by the name of Arthur Hill, and he bequeathed $200,000 to the university back in 1913 for the construction of an auditorium for lectures, concerts, and other university events. Hill was one of the early employees of Henry Ford Motor Company, so you can imagine he did quite well. The hall was designed by a Detroit firm, Albert Kahn and Associates, and Kahn was the architect behind so many beautiful, iconic buildings throughout the state of Michigan, and one including the structure at the Rouge River plant in Dearborn, Michigan. So Hill Auditorium is the largest performing arts venue on campus, seats approximately 3,500, one of the jewels of the University of Michigan. It's a gorgeous building inside and out. Since its opening in 1913, the impressive structure, known for its superb acoustics, one of my fondest memories is listening to Leonard Bernstein on his farewell tour, and he turned to the audience and he exclaimed how much he loved the town, loved the people, and loved this hall. And you could just see it in his eyes. So it's served as a showcase for important debuts from a wide variety of the arts and is known and loved throughout the musical world. It's famous for people who have been there for lectures as well as for musical events. Martin Luther King, Yo-Yo Ma, Leonard Bernstein as the mentor, the Grateful Dead, George Carlin, Elton John, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Benny Goodman, Stevie Wonder, Spike Lee, Bonnie Raitt, as I said, Brubeck, Robert Frost, what I would have given to attend a lecture by Robert Frost when he was a visiting professor here at the University of Michigan, Ray Charles, Van Cliburn, Allen Ginsberg with his poetry, John Lewis, Angela Davis, and the list goes on and on and on. But Arthur Hill, who made it all happen, was born in 1847 in St. Clair Shores, and grew up in Saginaw. Studied civil engineering at Michigan, graduating in 1865. He made a career in lumber, buying land, harvesting timber in the United States and Canada. He also owned ore-rich land in Michigan's Upper Peninsula that provided steady stream of income, an ongoing stream of income. He was a multimillionaire at the time of his death. As a regent, he deeded 80 acres of property west of Ann Arbor for research and teaching in the Department of Forestry, which is now the School of Environment and Sustainability, known as Saginaw Forest, one of my favorite places to hike. Many of you are very familiar with it. It is off of Wagner Road and is just a wonderful place. Again, thanks to Arthur Hill and his benevolence. So that's the building. It's a gorgeous building. Some of the remarks, I'll just read a couple of the remarks. One person said, best acoustics anywhere. Love singing there. So local performers also know the stage at Hill Auditorium. One person said, when student musicians in Ann Arbor Public Schools have played on Hill Auditorium stage, they've been told that everyone who is anyone as a performing musician has been on that stage. They may not understand the weight of that statement, but they hear it, and I hope they will remember it. Somebody says they saw Miles Davis, B.B. King, the Leningrad Orchestra, Martha Graham, the Joffrey Ballet, Marcel Marceau, John Prine, Carole King, Linda Ronstadt, goes on and on and on. Bruce Springsteen. Wowzer, they say. So luckily to have seen them all in one of the most wonderful concert halls in the world. Somebody said, I saw Bette Midler and her unknown accompanist, piano player by the name of Barry Manilow. Now put this in perspective. At that time, 1913, the U.S. put a limit on Japanese immigration. Japanese in the United States are excluded from acquiring citizenship in that year. Also, November 7th through 11th, the Great Lakes Storm of 1913 claims 19 ships and more than 250 lives, also in 1913. And the 16th Amendment, income tax, and the 17th Amendment, popular election of U.S. senators, was adopted. Prior to that time, U.S. senators were selected by the states, by the state legislatures. It was not a public vote. So that gives you some background information in terms of Hill Auditorium. Again, I'll be doing this on a weekly basis. If you'd like to be notified, please subscribe to this station, and I'll be sending you weekly updates of all 64 of the locations. All right. Thank you. Enjoy.